Oh my God. Well, hello everyone and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, know your nation, know yourself. Sorry I'm a little bit late today. Camera wouldn't start, refused to start, and I have to keep clicking on the blooming start button just to get the recording just to even begin. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, you know, the Mercury retrograde energies and all this kind of stuff is the absolute pain in the you know what. Let me just see if Mercury is still retrograde. Let me just look on my phone, which is like the old reliable. I've got your questions in. Yeah, I've got your questions in. So hopefully I'll be able to make it through a few questions today, starting almost at 10 minutes past the 10 minutes past the hour. Let me just put here, I should know this, shouldn't I? Mercury retrograde 2024. Yeah, so Mercury's retrograde from November 25th to December 15th. Yeah, so today is the 12th. Oh, gosh. Oh, yeah, I hope it'll be over soon. And it's when the planet starts to slow down and change direction. That's often when it's worse. So because it's in a few days, it means he's kind of slowing down and changing direction. And as you know, I'm quite a mercurial person and I often have issues. You know, I have my little technical issues anyway, but particularly around Mercury retrograde. So thank you everyone for joining me. Sorry for the delay. I see quite a few of you are in the chat. Tartan Spice is saying, hi Hoagie, looking forward to your consultation next week. So you'll be having a consultation with me. Thank you so much for booking, much appreciated. And Thursdays are my busy days, so forgive me if I'm a little bit slightly hoarse, because this, of course, Thursdays is when I not only see clients, but I also do my show. Got your questions in. Oh, and there's a debate in the chat. Brenda C saying beautiful fairy lights. Sigh, yes. As you know, I always have my little, well, when I'm at home anyway, I have my lights on, don't I, in the background. So Sherry saying Santa needs to bring you a new computer. I'll probably get a new one in January, to be honest. I'll get a new one in January. And you know, with the January sales and all of that kind of stuff. Let's just dive in because there's quite a good few questions here. So so question number one. So the Magical Mermaid asks, will Luigi's act, so that is Luigi Mangione, who of course, well, allegedly, well, it looks like it's him, shot Brian Thompson, who of course was the CEO of that health organization. So they ask, will Luigi's act have an effect on health insurance? Will it have an effect on health insurance? And because I'd actually, I didn't know his first name was Luigi. So when I was reading the question, when it said, will Luigi's act, so I thought it was like, is this some kind of new act of legislation or something like that? And then I was like, have an effect on health insurance, the Luigi's act? So I was like, what's that? So then I had to Google it and look it up. And then, of course, it was Mangione, Luigi Mangione, who, of course, has been now held in custody for the alleged murder of Brian Thompson. But how will this affect? And he also, from what I understand, he had a manifesto written up. I saw a little bit. I mean, I didn't. I was when I was Googling, to get the context on Luigi. Then they mentioned that he'd written a bit of a manifesto, and he was basically saying that the insurance companies have been fleecing everyone, and that America has the most expensive healthcare in the world, but it's only 42 in terms of health outcomes in the world, and he decided to take matters into his own hands. So let's see, will this change health insurance? Now, my instinct is, obviously I'm not an expert on health insurance, but it does make an extraordinary amount of money. and it's not delivering those health outcomes. And look, this is me not preaching, you know, Luigi's manifesto. I'm not saying go out and shoot everyone, but these are just objective facts. We know that in terms of per capita, per head, the amount of that is spent by Americans on healthcare, it's not proportionate to where it is in the rankings. And of course, America, from what I understand, is the only developed first world country to not have universal healthcare. So I'm not condoning people going out and shooting people, but it's been very interesting when we looked into this story last week. There really wasn't very much sympathy at all. So let's see. I mean, it's terrible for his family, isn't it? Terrible for his family. But just reading through the comments and reading through comments on other postings talking about it, very little sympathy for this guy who got shot, and the insurance industry as a whole, which one can, with the outcomes and the expense, my goodness, that many of my American clients have told me, and Americans that I've met on my adventures and travels, the prices are just outrageous. Like people take a cab, take a Uber to the hospital rather than the ambulance, even with their leg falling off, heart attack, everything, because it's so expensive. But anyway, let's see. Will this change? That's what it's changed. I mean, they're still, from what I understand, I think they've taken the pictures of CEOs from these health organizations down. So there's been a little change in that sense. Interesting. Do you know what? There might be some changes, you know. Okay, so if we look here, we have got the Six of Swords, which is about what? Moving to smoother waters. Yeah, moving to smoother waters, wanting to get out of harm's way. Let's see if it's got on this. Oh no, on this one it doesn't have it. In the traditional cards, this side of the water is calm and that one is wavy, or this one's wavy and the other side is calm. I can't remember which. But this is the card of moving on, moving to smoother waters and stuff like that. So could it be there may be one or two figures exiting the industry? We'll have to see. It depends how the public responds to this. You know, there might even be people writing in to these executives, to these companies, to maybe express, you know, their feelings about health insurance and stuff like that. But there's certainly an element here, of movement. Now, if we look in terms of the obstacle card, we get the world card showing up here. Now, the world card talks about big cycles, yeah, big cycles in particular. It can literally mean the world, but this can also talk about big cycles coming to an end. So in a way, maybe this is kind of like a bit of this event, maybe a catalyst for change, potentially a catalyst for change. Because here with the world card, it means something has reached its completion. It has reached its full cycle, and it's turning up in the obstacle position. So in the sense of, I think this is going to be explored. Healthcare is going to be explored more going forwards. There might be actually quite a lot of reforms, and I think there is actually quite a lot of discussion as well. Potentially with the new administration coming in, this, you know, that could also change a few things as well. Yeah, you see the cards. I mean, who knows, for better, for worse, or what have you, but there certainly seems to be an element here of change, or something becoming reaching its full cycle and having to start over again. If we look in the middle, we've got the Chariot card here, which of course, cover the boobies, which of course talks about you know, of course talks about moving forward, usually, isn't it? Moving forward at pace, energy, enthusiasm, willfulness. Yeah, so maybe this could be, yeah. I think things will change. It may change in unexpected ways. If we look here, we have got the Queen of Wands. Now, the Queen of Wands, and I remember the Wand suite I associate with business. Yeah, I associate business, entrepreneurship. And the Queen of Wands talks about bringing people together, having a conference, having a debate, having a salon, the gathering of persons. Also, as well, there's an element here where the black cat represents using one's intuition as well. So, you know, there's probably going to be some meetings about this. There's probably going to be some meetings about this, a convening of minds. And then we get the Fool card as the outcome card. And this isn't the literal translation in this sense. This is much more about a brand new beginning, yeah? Which, of course, makes sense, doesn't it, with the context of the World card, showing a big cycle coming to an end. And then here at the outcome card, we have got the Fool card, which shows a potential new start or taking a leap of faith. And that is 3 major arcana out of 5. So I think there is going to be change. I think what is what Luigi has done, it will have, obviously he's probably going to spend the rest of his life in prison, or maybe even the death penalty once he's found guilty. I'm sure he probably will be found guilty, isn't it? Because I mean, they'll just match up his face with the cameras and everything like that. But this has been a catalyst, and this, I'm sure, is something that is of much debate, particularly in America. And with the timing of everything, yeah, it's certainly long overdue for some reform. You could see some reform. Could see some reform with those cards there. So thanks so much for that question, Magical Mermaid. Let's see who else is in the chat. Angela saying Mercury is retrograde. Yeah, it always affects me more and more as I get older, actually, more and more, because I'm a very electrical person anyway, very mercurial. Mercury is a very significant planet in my chart, and I have a lot of Uranian energy as well. So me and electrics have always been a bit, you know, sketch anyway. And oh, this is Rennie from Belize. She says, I enjoyed our consultation today. It was a pleasure, and thank you so much for booking. So yes, Renee is in Belize, and we were talking about economic policies and different kind of stuff like that. And here, Magical Mermaid saying Luigi is a big story of the week. Yes, and I would suspect going into the new year and also the new administration as well, that is that's going to be discussed. I think he will have had quite an effect. I think he will have had quite an effect at the very least on personal security and stuff like that, which will obviously have to be stepped up. But something has to change, because, you know, Americans of all stripes have told me consistently that it is just outrageous. And you know the number one cause of homelessness in America, even more so than drugs, allegedly, is people becoming bankrupted by medical bills. Like, how is that right? Bankrupted, you know, for having to seek help very often through no fault of one's own. Do you know what I mean? It's extraordinary. So something has to be done, doesn't it? I'm not endorsing murder, of course, but, you know, something has to be done. So Nick Minx says she's split the word up as Manchin. So Nick Minx, you don't have to disguise the words, because sometimes I'm not sure who you're talking about. Yeah, I'm like, who does she mean? And then I'm like, oh, and then I kind of like work it out. So she says Manchin, what's his name? You know, Manchin has again undermined the Dems in the Senate. As he leaves, what do the cards show for his future? So I don't know, particularly on Thursdays, I'm not able to check that much news, because I'm literally busy all day with clients, and then I'll go straight into the show. But Manchin has always been, yeah, at best. And then she's saying, as he leaves, what do the cards show for his future? So I'm guessing that he's what, leaving the Senate or something? Has he retired? Has he become an independent? I'm not sure. I know that's something he's flirted with for a while. I think cinema as well. Is she even still around? We barely speak about her now, isn't it? So Manchin. What the cards show for his future? Manchin. The cards show for his future. Manchin. Cards show for his future. Manchin. Yeah, that insurance definitely has to change. That all has to change. Oh, interesting. Oh, this is looking a bit dicey. Very interesting, particularly the fourth card. Yeah, particularly the fourth card and what I associate with this fourth card, as you guys have been, who are regular viewers of me, will know. Yeah. So here we have got the Queen of Wands. So again, it just came out just before, wasn't it? You saw me shuffling. So this again is talking about entrepreneurship, bringing people together, etc., and stuff like that. He's probably going to try and maybe start up, either revive an old business, or potentially start up a new one, or some kind of collaboration or something like that. But he's going to go down a more entrepreneurial route. We can see here with the Seven of Pentacles, it's also to do with his investments as well, probably areas that he's already invested in and wants to kind of reap the rewards or make new investments of some kind, something like that. I mean, obviously he's not short of money, you know, is a Manchin. So I think he's going to be looking over his portfolio and seeing how he can invest, diversify, you know, stuff like that. However, though, when we look here, the last three cards do tell another tale. So there will be an element here of heartache, upset, or a sense of betrayal. Maybe this is one of the reasons why he's leaving. I mean, has he decided to retire? Has he been pushed out? I don't know. Obviously, I don't know the context of that. So sorry about that, guys, for not knowing the context of that. I really can only just read the cards, but there is certainly an element here of upset, betrayal, feeling sad. Yeah, maybe having to kind of move on for whatever reason. As I said, I don't know what that reason is, if it's retirement or if he's been forced out or he's just like, I can't be bothered anymore. Yeah. Here, though, is the Four of Swords. And now, as you know, I associate with this card with careers ending, particularly when I'm reading on politics. So, of course, definitely something's obviously come to an end for him. And then if we look at the outcome card here, oh, come on, my camera's freezing a little bit. If we look at the outcome card here, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So it means that his life is going to be looser, probably less controlled, a bit more kind of freewheeling, obviously with the Wheel of Fortune. So, you know, he's probably not exactly 100% sure of what his future is going to be, but I'm going to say entrepreneurship and investments, business, you know, stuff like that. You know, they always do. You know, it's a revolving door, isn't it? They leave and then they get some CEO position somewhere, and are just, you know, paid more money than God. That's how it normally works, isn't it? All right, let's see who else is in, and then we're going to be looking at Murdoch. We're going to be, we've got an election question. Then we're going to be looking at Canada and Trump. And there's a question on 6 days of darkness that I want to get in as well. I'm like, interessante. Let's see here. Yes, so someone's saying, Brenda C, I bloody hope so. The health insurance in America is so wild. Yeah, it is outrageous. I would even go as far to say, I would say it is outrageous. Mona Rogers is saying, caught him in my hometown. Wow, of Altoona. Yes, I remember, because didn't he go into a McDonald's or something like that? He went into a McDonald's and someone recognized him. Annie's saying, hi, Hogarth. Thank you, Annie. And then Brenda's also saying there's no cohesive healthcare in America, and it It is devastating to many good people. Yes. Imagine that being healthcare costs being the number. If correct me if I'm wrong, but this is from what I understand, like when I was looking into this stuff and learning about it, the number one cause of bankruptcy. The number one cause of bankruptcy is some huge health bill. I mean, that's just not right. It's just not right. You know, this no fault of their own. You know, people, you know, they get cancer and they have to spend millions, and you know, and you can only get insurance if you got this kind. It does have to change. Like I said, again, I'm not endorsing murder, but bloody hell. Oh no. Is this true? Tamara says BCBS. I don't know what that means. Is that the Thingybob company? Forgive me, I don't know. And also as well, remember guys, I'm not American, so sometimes these abbreviations, I'm not quite sure what the reference is. But anyway, reversed their decision to cap the amount of anesthesia that can be used in surgeries. So, okay, reverse their decision to cap the amount of anesthesia that can be. But what does that mean? Is it the case that more people died, or more people are in pain? Do you see? It's for me. I have to struggle with the context of that, because I'm not sure. You know, we have NHS over here, so we pay for our healthcare via general taxation. It's not perfect, but it's still there. What's this here? So Shivani's saying Luigi had 2 major back surgeries, although patients have, and he had sorry, the spelling's there. He had and past assisted parents with their health centers. He is no longer with family. Back pain persistent. Okay, so yeah, so obviously the spelling. Never mind. I got there. So I get the sense that he's had back surgeries and he's looked after parents with their health. So obviously he's someone that is very familiar with the insurance system. And Carmen is saying, hi, Ogie, just joined. Oh, do you mean subscribed to my channel? I think maybe that's what you mean. Thank you. What do the cards say about Canada and the US tariffs and retaliation? Right. I've got a Canada question coming up, so we'll take a look. Let's get into the next one. So Nick Minks again and says, Murdoch loses bid to change trust in real life succession battle. How's the energy in the family after that loss? What change in the trust was he not able to achieve? Again, I need a little bit of context on the questions. Remember, most of my time I'm spending researching astrology, working with my clients, etc. I watch news, but I don't watch the news obsessively. Especially, Murdoch, God, I mean, how old is he now? 90, what? 93 going on 94. Oh, look at that. Transformation. How interesting. I was just talking about his age. Now, remember, the death card isn't always literally death, but it does mean transformation. Transformation one can't avoid. Murdoch loses bid to change trust in real life succession battle. How's the energy in the family after that loss? So I'm not sure what they were trying to achieve, but let me just pull more cards. So the death card twisted out. Let's see what else Spirit has to say. Very interesting. Right. 5 cards, 4 major arcana, 4. Now this is really interesting. So as we saw, that the death card twisted out, yeah. Death doesn't always mean literal death, but I was just talking about Rupert Murdoch's age, and I think he's 93 going on 94, something like that. Let me know in the comments, but he's definitely in his 90s, so he's exceedingly mature, yeah, almost 100, basically, the best part of 100 years old. And the death card of transformation has turned out. It's not always literal, but you know, it's quite interesting, isn't it, that it should have twisted out. But this is also a transformation as well that cannot be avoided. Yeah, here you see the king has been toppled. Yeah, and the Pope here is pleading for his life, and the queen and the child is, you know, distraught, etc. So this can talk about the toppling of power. Yeah, the toppling of power. Maybe a hegemony is coming to an end. I know there's been elements where obviously Rupert has wanted his children to continue, and I understand there's some kind of battle going on within there. So let's see, is this the ending of a cycle? You know, he's an extremely controversial figure and has done a tremendous a lot of damage in the world. Let's just be honest about it. Turning up in the obstacle position, though, is the star. You never want this card in your obstacle position. Now, when it's the right way up, it means the universe has got your back, rejuvenation, etc. When it's reversed, it's quite the opposite. So this can be a feeling of discontent, of abandonment, a sense that the universe doesn't have your back, yeah? A sense of kind of listlessness, yeah. You're not feeling the rejuvenation, the opposite of rejuvenation, really. So when it's coming in the context of the death card as well, then that is an issue. If I just turn it upside down, that is a big issue. So what this is suggesting to me is, I have a feeling that when Rupert is gone, the whole dynasty may just eventually kind of break apart, yeah. Particularly when you look at the next card, yeah. We have the 5 of Pentacles, which is, of course, feeling out in the cold. It's impoverishment. It also can deal with poor health as well, stuff like that. So there might be some health issues that come up in the family, either for Rupert or maybe another family member. But in the context, you know, this is also coming in the same breath as the death card as well. So obviously not necessarily a very good omen. Now, of course, they're phenomenally rich. They've all got more money than God, but that's not the point. This here is talking about being out in the cold, no longer being part of the church. Could it be with the moving on, shall we say, the exiting from Earth School of Rupert Murdoch, that his empire, or those that continue in the same vein in which he did, may actually find themselves isolated and rejected, because Rupert, of course, is extraordinarily powerful. Yeah, really is. In many ways, he's more powerful than the politicians and even many of the leaders in the world, you know. So maybe people are waiting for that time, perhaps when there is a transformation, in order to basically shut out, you know, Rupert and maybe elements of his family. Yeah, they're obviously thinking as well about their financial future and stuff like that. If you look here, we have the Hermit card, so they're researching things, looking into things. It seems, for, I don't know which family member it pertains to exactly, but obviously didn't quite go their way. The Hermit is, of course, the card of isolation, reflection, research, going deep into things. But when we also put it in the context of it turning up with the 5 of Pentacles, you know, they're also worried about social exclusion and, you know, their wealth and finances. I mean, they've got a ton of money, so I'm not quite sure why they're that worried about that. Maybe it's more to do with a social exclusion, or no longer feeling part of that world, like they're maybe losing their grip on power. Yeah, particularly here when you look at the outcome card, and we have the Tower, yeah, which is pretty self-explanatory. So of course this is a shocking event beyond one's control, or a sudden transformation or change that is not necessarily welcome. In some contexts, if the cards are good, then the Tower can be a pleasant surprise. But, you know, you don't want the Tower showing up most of the time unless you really do want your life to change. Again, we see the analogy of the crown. The crown is being shot off, yeah? And here in the first one, the crown is being trampled, yeah, under the feet of death. So there is, this really is talking about a deposing, really, isn't it? When we put it all together, we know that he's been a big king / emperor of the media for decades, has influenced the political weather in many nations, often turning them more to the right. And it just looks like in this context that there's a big change coming. I mean, will he be exiting Earth School? We'll have to see. You know, technically the star card reversed. And then look, yeah, the card of poor health, etc., you know, stuff like that, being out in the cold. I don't know, maybe he doesn't have that long. I don't want to speculate, you know, too much. I mean, but look, do you have to be a psychic to read that? I mean, the guy's in his 90s, but you know, like I said, wickedness is also a good preservative. So we'll have to see, but definitely a big transformation and changes coming for the Murdochs, it seems. All right, let's go to question number 4. How are we doing on time? Okay, about half an hour. All right, here we go. All right, okay. I'm just going to read out this question, and then I'll give some answers and I'll pull some cards. Yeah. So Baron Barbell, yeah, Barbell, Jeanette says, "Hi, Hoagie. I know that energies change, so could you please see what the cards have to say about this question? Please and thank you." Question, all in capitals, yeah. Says, will Biden invoke the Presidential Election Act documents stating foreign interference in the election? Will Diaper Don assume the presidency? Please, 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 and thank you, yeah. All right, now you've heard me say this before, and I know it's not popular. I know it's not popular. And, you know, I might even have some people that will unsubscribe just for me saying this, but I have to speak truth. Yeah. And what I believe is that the only way Duc Larange will not be inaugurated is if he is dead. Yeah. And I know people don't want to hear that. And I know some people are unsubscribing. You know, but I have to, you know, looking at the energies, yeah, look, I mean, he's been congratulated by the whole world. He's just gone to the Notre Dame and blah, 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 and all of this kind of stuff. I mean, it would be extraordinary for something like that to happen at this stage, yeah, at this stage. And if it did, one thing that would happen, and again, I know people don't want to hear it, but one thing that would happen is that it would virtually guarantee a hot civil war in the United States. Virtually guarantee it. Yeah, virtually guarantee it. But as you've asked, I will pull cards on the question. I will pull cards on the question. And then let's see what the cards have to say. Yeah, so is Biden going to invoke the presidential election? I don't see it. Let me just see what the cards say. Is he going to invoke that? And essentially, what the person is asking is, will Biden overturn the election? Let's see what the cards have to say about that, or the energy of that. What would happen if that was the case? And what I'm saying is that the only way it won't happen is if Duc Larange is dead. I can't see any other context where he's not going to be inaugurated. But let's see what the cards say. This is so interesting. You know, sometimes I say the cards speak in graffiti. Yeah, the cards speak in graffiti. Look at this. Look at this. Asking about the election. Look, I have to say what I see. Yeah, we know this card, which is the card of trying to get away with something. Yeah, trying to sneak, trying to get away with something sneaky going on. And he's wearing his little Russian hat. Yeah. If we look here, though, the next card here is the Justice card. Yeah. So something trying to evade or sneak potentially from justice. Yeah. Look who shows up in the middle. The Empress, and we know this is my what? My Russia card, yeah? You guys know this. For other people, it's America. For me, you know this is my Russia card. Showing up here right in the middle. Then look at the next card, which is the Two of Cups, yeah? The Two of Cups, which is about what? Partnerships, making a deal, working together, yeah? A marriage, business deal, brokerage. Yeah. So a deal with Russia for what? Look at the outcome card. The Four of Wands, which of course I associate with the White House. Yeah. Many of us do when we're doing our political readings. So if we look, sneaking away. Yeah. Legal matters, sneaking away with something in terms of legalities, yeah, and justice. Russia's involved in a deal in connection with the White House. So look, that in many ways, I think is giving the energy of the circumstances, yeah. That still, of course, it needs to be proved, yeah. That needs to be proved, and if it is proved, then of course something needs to be done about it. But that doesn't seem to be happening, does it? Let's be honest, that doesn't seem to be happening. So let me pull a clarifier just specifically on Biden. I think that's the energy overall. What is going on with Biden? I think he's been busy with other things, hasn't he? Let's just see. Let's just pull 3 cards for Biden. Just pulling 3 cards for him because that was so interesting, wasn't it? You could see the cards for yourself. Yeah. Okay, look. Is he going to do anything? Not with this card, I don't think. I think this is the outgoing presidency, yeah. Look, being out in the cold, feeling separate from, you can see the card, yeah. It can even talk about ill health, etc., stuff like that. But this isn't a card of action. If it was the Knight of Swords, for example, charging forward, or if it was the Tower, something unusual or expected, or even the Chariot, yeah, no, it's actually the 5 of Pentacles. So I think this is Biden moving on. Yeah, I know people don't want to hear this stuff. I know they don't want to hear it, but I have to read the cards. I must read the cards and not be pressured into saying anything else. Not that I'm saying that you guys are doing that, but you know what I mean. The cards come first for me anyway, and what they mean. So look, we can see that's what he got. This is leaving, exit stage left. Yeah. However, I think it's going to be a time of rejuvenation for Biden. Once he's no longer president, I think he's going to be trying to take care of himself, and his family, because of course this is the card. I'm just covering the nipplage. This is the card of rejuvenation. How often these cards come up? Have you noticed the Chariot? That always the ones with the bare boobies anyway. But so this is about rejuvenation, getting the sense that the universe has got your back. So I think this is his retirement effectively. And if we look here, he also gets the card of nostalgia. Yeah, the card of nostalgia, the 6 of Cups as his outcome. So for me, I'm seeing that as, retirement, rest, rejuvenation, and probably enjoying time with his children and grandchildren. So that's how I see it. So obviously, there was something that was going on in terms of the election, but it's not been proven. But in terms of Biden doing something, that's not what I'm seeing based on those cards. And I know people don't want to hear it, but there are many of you as well that appreciate the honesty as well, don't you? Because, you know, I just read the cards, and it's, you know, yeah. So that's the answer on that. But thanks for the question, though. And it was very interesting what the cards were, wasn't it? It's like, wow. It wasn't even subtle. Wasn't even subtle. Someone's just saying here, I just left United Healthcare because their premiums exceeded their usefulness. Yes, I don't blame you. Let's scroll down. And then Brendan says healthcare should be a basic human right. Absolutely. Take greed out of healthcare, says Magical Mermaid. What's this? And then, oh, Angela says, please, can we have the Bard on Assad? Oh, that's a good one. Why not? Why not? Let's quickly have a quick look, see. What does the Bard think of Assad? Gosh. And you see how it's all happening, folks. Pluto in Capricorn, as you've heard me saying. Yeah, Capricorn is the sign of government. Pluto is what? You know, the corruptions, the transformations, the explosions. Yeah, we're seeing turns of events as well. You know, could it be that some dictatorships fall? Maybe some new ones come in. Who knows? But transformation. Yeah. All right. So what does the Bard think of Assad? I feel like I need to stop right here. This is really interesting. So this is what the Bard has to say about Assad. And it's from Henry V. Thou art sick in the world's regard, wretched and low, a poor, unminded outlaw sneaking home. Wow. Look at that. And then on another page from King Lear, it says, from the extremest upward of thy head to the descent and dust beneath thy foot, a most toad and spotter traitor. Wow. And he's had to flee. But the thing is that first one, thou art sick in the world's regard. Yes, we all know he was horrific. Wretched and low, all the people that were murdered and tortured and disappeared. A poor, unminded outlaw sneaking home. Well, he's left his home, but he's had to sneak to Russia, hasn't he? He's now in Moscow. Wow. You see, the Bard never fails. The Bard never fails. Right, let's have a look at let's do here we got a Canada one coming in. So someone wrote about Canada in the comments, and this is one that was a question. So Gelding says, hello, Hogarth. Trump has referred to Canada as the 51st state. Oh, Declarams, the stuff that comes out of his mouth. Trudeau as governor, and referred to Trudeau as governor on several occasions. Do you see this as joking or the ravings of a lunatic, or does he have real aspirations of invading Canada? Thanks so much for the insight. Invading, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that. Oh, this is interesting. Brenda's saying, but Elon Musk said homelessness is not real and propaganda. Really? Oh my God, that guy. Oh, here we go. Winnie Boo said Manchin voted against Biden's nominees for the Labor Department. Oh, of course, because they don't want to strengthen labor laws. God, so naked, isn't it? And then Patrick saying Manchin and Sinema are just Republicans are too cowardly to own up to it. They always vote red. Yeah, they do, it seems. God. And then everybody knows Americans are brilliant at everything. Why not the best healthcare system ever in the world? We are all confused because it's called greed. Yeah, it's called greed. Profit is put before people almost every single time, not just in America, around the world, but America sometimes is the most egregious examples, unfortunately. And I really do feel for Americans. It's really not fair. It's too much. Let's see here. All right, let's I'm just scrolling down anyway. Let's look at this. Anyway, let's look at this. So Trump has referred to Canada as the 51st state, Trudeau as governor on several occasions. I think he is pulling his leg. Do you see this as joking or the ravings of a lunatic? Does he have real aspirations for invading Canada? Thanks so much for your insight. Oh, not sure about that. These times are weird. I don't think he was joking about Canada becoming the 51st state. He was putting it forward in jest, but you know, many a truth is said in jest, particularly with Duck L'Orange. He's probably just floating it to see the look on Trudeau's face. All right. Does Trump have any plans to invade? I mean that would be up there with Russia, Ukraine, wouldn't it? I doubt it's that, but let's just see what the energy is. Trump, Trudeau, tariffs, 51st state. What can the card say about this? Tariffs, 51st state. Duck L'Orange is also a provocateur as well. Remember that. And never forget, he is also an entertainer. He does a lot of stuff for the hoopla. Interesting. Okay, look, yeah. This is what I thought. Yeah. Okay, this is what this rhetoric is all about. So if we look here, so we get the, and this is the context of Trump referring to Canada as the 51st state, blah, 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 you know, invasion, etc. If we look here, he's done this to get the attention of the government, yeah, the government. The Hierophant deals with the government, deals with rules, regulations. It can deal with patriarchy. It can deal with the traditional ways of doing things, yeah, the traditional way of doing things. But it's very much a government guard, protocols, etc. So obviously, Dr. L'Orange is, by declaring this, saying that he wants to, we'll have to see if he actually does it, which I think would be a disaster, wants to impose 25% tariffs, you know, and he's wanting to put a cat amongst the pigeons, shake things up. If we look here, really, it's more about it's about the voters. Yeah, remember whenever I'm reading political questions and I get the Queen of Pentacles come up, this often will, for me, refers to the domestic voters. So this is to appeal to his base, yeah, and it is to kind of grandstand, but also as well, this is also the card of security as well. And technically, in a way, this is turning up in the obstacle position. So it's to discombobulate as well. It's to shake and rattle cages and make people feel insecure. Yeah, Canada in particular. And if you look to see more else what it's about, look, we've got the world card here. So of course, this is also talking about what global trade. Yeah, and this is also a wider message that Duck L'Orange is wanting to send to the world. Yeah, wanting to send to the world, wanting to make a statement about what he plans to do. Yeah. If we look, we see there's aggression here. We've got the Knight of Swords. So this is a card that deals with aggression or taking swift action. This, you could also say, this could also be the retaliation as well from Canada. Trudeau was certainly swift getting down to Mar-a-Lago, and they sat down and had dinner. So I think this is partly the aggressive rhetoric from Trump, combined with Canada being prepared to retaliate as well. So this is definitely an escalation, yeah? Remember, this is one of the fastest cards in the deck. So it's not a de-escalation card. However, look at the outcome card. We have the Knight of Pentacles, yeah, which is the slow and steady knight. But again, this talks about money, finances and stuff. So what there will be is there will be a renegotiation in regards to tariffs. And I think that this was basically a kind of like a bully tactic by Duc Larange, yeah, which was also a statement to the world to shake things up with a quick, you know, shake up the domesticity, you know, because this card can also talk about homeland and stuff like that. Obviously, Canada is a very close neighbor. In order to change the rules, yeah, the legislature, I can never say that word properly, wanting to get different decrees, different laws. Yeah, this can also talk about the laws. But ultimately it's to get a deal. So I don't think Trump is planning to invade Canada. I think this is it's kind of like a scare and bully tactic, but it could also have retaliation from Canada as well. Yeah, this is escalation, but ultimately, I think maybe some kind of there will be some kind of something will be struck. Something will be struck. So it's a tactic. That's what it looks like to me. Yeah, I think it's a tactic. So there's that. And let's just scroll down the chat as well. Let's see if I can squeeze in a couple more. What's it do? Okay, right. So people talking about healthcare. Someone's saying here. Where's it gone? Oh, why won't it show? Oh, bloody hell. Oh, yeah. Anne is saying they won't reimburse the patient for any anesthesia past a certain point of time on an operation. Oh, obviously we can see a bit of typo there, so they must have typed it out quickly. Really? Oh, that is disgraceful. They won't reimburse the patient for any anesthesia past a certain time in an operation? That is outrageous. So what does that mean? It's like, well, that's your ration of anesthesia. So what happens if you wake up halfway through and they're hammering into a rib or something? My gosh. Wow. Honestly, this channel has been such an education, and thank you everyone for joining me and dropping in the comments, because you see it's an education, isn't it? Not only for myself, but everyone else who is watching the show who's not familiar with these things. And of course, please don't forget as well to like and subscribe and press the bell notification and share as well. Thank you. Look at this. His parents own several nursing homes. Thank you, Alison. And then Anne is saying greed-fueled cruelty. Wow. Let me scroll down a bit more, because sometimes I do miss a few. Because parents was there to cut off. What was this? They had cut off allowances to anesthesia after a few hours during surgery. Oh. For those undergoing cancer operations, etc., had to pay additional dollars. Bills range from $7,000. Reverse decision. Oh my God, reverse decision after complaints. That is outrageous. My goodness. Wow, what an education. That is utterly, utterly immoral. The fact that someone could even think about that in your most vulnerable moment, being operated on, and they are calculating how much anesthesia is used, and then they're gonna say, oh, you ran out for this time, and then charge you $7,000 up to. Wow, that's really sick, isn't it? Wow, that's really shocking. All right, let's now, let's see. God, the time goes so quickly. All right, thank you so much for your comments, everyone. astonishing. Let me know your thoughts on that, folks. If you're seeing this show later on and you didn't know about that, I'm sure many of you do, but this would be utterly shocking for many people not familiar with the ravages of the US so-called health system. That is disgusting. How could they do that? I'm glad it got turned back. Wow, my goodness, that's absolutely appalling. To take advantage of people that way. Calculate. No, I don't even want to go there. It's too horrible. Stuff of nightmares. Right. So Barbara Almedia, have you heard anything about 3 days of darkness that might happen to reset the Earth axis? All right. Let me tell you this. We do not want the Earth's axis to change. And it'd be more than 3 days of darkness. Yeah. Because if it changes like this or that, really not good. Because what will happen is the countries where it's now winter, i.e. the Northern Hemisphere, will then suddenly become summer. Where it is now summer will suddenly become winter. And if it goes like this rapidly in any shape or form, we're all gone. Yeah, it's just as simple as that. We are just finished. One thing what I do like to think about is that are the poles shifting? Yes, they are. Are we being helped to make sure it doesn't go too extreme? I think we are. I think there's entities, ETs, and helping to kind of stop that, but the poles are moving. Let's see, what's this with this 3 day of darkness? And where are you guys hearing this? Where are these theories being espoused? Are they on different channels, different psychic channels or something like that? Where's people hearing this kind of stuff? Where's this coming from? 3 days of darkness. I mean, something that could produce 3 days of darkness in terms of like logically would be a gargantuan volcanic eruption, but we don't want that. It's happened in the past, actually, where the sun's been blocked out and almost all the vegetation died on planet Earth. It was a mass extinction event, so we don't really... But let's just see what the cards say. This is so interesting. Especially the cards that keep coming back. You see how thoroughly I shuffle. 3 days of darkness, and this is what I get. Very often, because remember, this is a non-political read in a sense, and very often I associate this card with Biden, but I do refer to it as the democracy card. Yeah, so this is talking about global democracies around the world. Yeah, but look. Then we get the Knight of Swords, which is, of course, acts of aggression. Yeah, we saw it just come out before. Yeah, this was talking about when it came out before was Trump's aggressive rhetoric, and this could be the retaliation from Canada. But this is talking about democracy. Yeah, so maybe there's some kind of act of aggression against democracy. And then here we've got the Knight of Wands rearing up. So we've got two very passionate cards. Is this some, do you know what? Is this some kind of uprising? Quite literally, when you put that together, democracy, act of aggression, uprising. And then when we look here, we get the Ace of Wands, which is about initiating a new project. It's actually normally quite a positive card. Initiating a new project, fertile new beginnings, but it can literally also be the club as well. Is there some kind of, wow, because look, democracy, acts of aggression, uprising, a use of force or a new beginning, but then look, Five of Pentacles comes back, which is a sense of being out in the cold, not feeling well. Do you know what I think this is? It may not be literal, these 3 days of darkness. It may not be literal. The sense I'm getting is this might be an uprising from large parts of humanity to protest. Yeah, to protest. Maybe there might be disquiet in the democracies of the world because people take matters into their own hands. We were just reading about the Luigi guy. Uprising, yeah, passion. But this is also a card of impulsiveness, quite a youthful card as well. Wanting to take action, to initiate something new, new fertile beginnings. And then the outcome card here, because people feel left out in the cold. I think this 3 days of darkness is actually more to do with, I think, humanity maybe uprising in some kind of way, yeah, in protest at how the world is being run, yeah, how the world is being run. I'll squeeze one more in, and Nick Mink says, the head of NATO has warned that it's not ready for threats it will face from Russia in coming years, and that it's time to shift to a wartime mindset. Do the cards show if this is warranted? Oh. Well, if we get the Knight of Swords back again, oh gosh, I certainly hope not. We don't want to see the Knight of Swords. We don't want to see the Five of Swords. Swords in general, we don't want to see, because they are quite warlike. Even the Knight of Wands as well, that can have quite a warlike energy depending on who it's next to, as we saw in the previous spread. NATO, are they being serious? Move into a wartime mindset. I mean, we need to be ending wars. You know, we just can't carry on like this. Anyway, right. Especially as we're so close to an energy revolution, the global south is using more renewables now rather than fossil fuels. So, you know, there are, oh gosh, there is progress in the world. You wouldn't believe. Oh, wow. This is something a bit sinister, guys. Yeah, again, I have to read the cards. Look what came up. The devil. The devil card. This is a card of corruption. Yeah, corruption, mental illness sometimes, addiction. Yeah, addiction, being chained to someone or something, or an ideology or a set of beliefs. Yeah, I have to say what I see. Yeah, the devil card has come up, and this is a question about NATO. If we look here, look, partnerships, but this is technically turning up in the obstacle position. So there's a sense of breaking up, disharmony, lack of concord and agreement. Yeah, because when it's the right way up, your partnerships, etc. But this is turning up in the obstacle position, and it really is the obstacle because the first card here is negative. So yeah, there's dark forces at play. If we look here, the next card, yeah, Seven of Wands, having to defend oneself, defend a position, defend a stance, feeling attacked from all sides. So is this an element where NATO is feeling under threat? Yeah, feeling under threat. I mean, I think that was even in the question, wasn't it? You can literally see it here. Yeah. However, there is a sword of truth. There is an element of a great reveal, clarity, yeah, an element here of righteousness. And then we get the smug merchant, or we get the wish fulfillment card. Yeah, wish fulfillment card. So it could be that maybe NATO gets bolstered in some kind of way, or there's some kind of agreement. I still believe that there is actually going to be some kind of agreement between Russia and Ukraine. You've heard me say it before. And I've said before as well, I said, when that war ends, it's going to be some kind of legal kind of agreement. So there could be something like that. But there is murkiness as well. Sadly, there are always people that want war. Yeah, because it makes them rich, and they're attached to that in a very kind of toxic way. So we'll have to see. I'm hoping that the sword of truth will come through, and then in the end things are settled and there is happiness and peace. All right, I will leave it there. Thank you so much. Almost 500 of you joined me this evening. Thank you so much for your questions and giving me that information. Again, I didn't have time to scroll through absolutely everything. And then, all right, someone's saying here, the reason people are still asking, I won't put this up on screen. Might be a little bit too controversial for some, but Myrna's saying the reason people are still asking about the presidency is because some readers are giving them false hope, and she said it's disgusting. And so I will leave it there. There was some name mentioned there, but I won't click it up on the screen, because I don't want to criticize other channels. At the end of the day, everyone has to take inventory of themselves and read from the way that they see fit. I just always say try and read with the highest energies and the highest integrity, and of course just read the cards, but I can't tell what other channels what to do. But I can Mona is speaking her mind. Let's see who else is here. And people are asking for the Bard, which we did for Assad. So I'm gonna leave it there, otherwise this will just drag on for too long. So thank you so much everyone for joining me. Please don't forget, of course, to like and subscribe. I'm gonna drop you something here. I'm still going to be keeping my channel, but I'm going to be starting a new channel. It's already created, actually. I haven't created the content for it yet. I need to get myself together, and I'll probably work on it over Christmas, maybe something for the new year. But it is going to be looking at financial astrology and stuff like that going forward. The reason why is because there's so many extraordinary changes that are coming to the global systems, payments, everything, that I think it is worthy to have its own separate channel to discuss. So watch this space. It's already created. I'm not going to tell you what it's called yet, because I've already named it. But watch this space, and I'll let you know more going forward. Not created content for it yet, so I will either maybe do it around Christmas or maybe New Year. But I just need time to, put everything together. And anyway, I will leave it there. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. Let's see if I can actually end the show now, because I have to click on the button several times. So bye-bye for now, and of course you'll see me on Hoggerly coming forward, on Saturday. All right, let's see if I can end the show.